Now, my last video talked about UK bank statement requirement for student visa, and this one we are talking about a Canada bank statement requirement, who can also sponsor you and how much it must be in the account, and some of the things that you need to do in order to prevent your visa being refused and you subsequently being banned for 5 years. Canada, when they ban you, is 5 years. UK is 10 years. Other Schengen destinations are 3 years and 5 years. And now, one thing about Canada is that the only basic thing that you should have is that either you are sponsoring yourself, or a third party can sponsor you, or you can get a student loan. Any of these things you can use to prove sponsorship. That is yourself or anybody to can sponsor you. Now, how much do you need as an individual who wants to study in Canada? Now, the living expenses that you must have if you are going alone is around 20,635 Canadian dollars. And if you are going with somebody like your spouse, that will be around 25,690, and if your kid will be joining you, that will be around 31,583. This means that you guys are 3. But if you are going to Quebec, which is different destination, for 2 people is around 31,583. Now, with this amount is for the living expenses, so you have to add your tuition. So if the tuition, after you're done with your tuition deposit, the tuition left is around, let's say, 8,000 Canadian dollars, you will add it to the 20,635, and you have to also add, there are some schools that you have to pay your library fees. Those students, there are some unions that you will join and those kind of things, those fees. So you have to calculate all those things and you add it up. So for instance, if you add all those up and you get, like, say, 35,000 Canadian dollars, that should be the amount in the account. But it is always advisable that it shouldn't be exact. So if the school is on everything together with the living expenses around 35,000 Canadian dollars, you should have at least 40 to 45,000 Canadian dollars. Because the will be in the account responsibility, he is going to use all his funds. But if it is in your own name, you can just have the exact with, let's say, 1,000 Canadian dollars as an additional. But if someone else is sponsoring you, it should be more than how much that is needed for your proof of funds. And as said, you can use external bodies like the Empower or Prodigy Finance. These are loan bodies too. You can also get loans from them, and you can also use it to finance your education in Canada. Now, one other thing is that you can also use external, but I like that you transfer your money into Canadian accounts with your name on it. That one too is accepted. And don't forget that your bank statement, if someone is sponsoring you or you are sponsoring yourself, should be 4 months old. Like, for instance, if you are in August ending, it should be around April there. So you should have to print from April to August ending, and you could use that to prove your finance. It is always advisable to present genuine documents and genuine bank statement. Mostly they check these, and nowadays they check these bank statements that we present for visa. It is better you present genuine bank statement, so to prevent your visa being refused and subsequently being banned. And also, it is always also advisable that you know the source or whoever is giving you the bank statement that will use to sponsor yourself. It is also advisable that it's either yourself or your parents are sponsoring you. And it is always not the case that the one sponsoring you should have the same surname with the one sponsoring you. It is always not the case. So for instance, if I am a Jabin and my son surname is Owusu, it doesn't mean that because my son didn't take my surname, the bank statement shouldn't say that, okay, I am the father of my son. No, it doesn't work like that. You should prove it using your your birth certificate to prove that your father's name is on your birth cert, and that is reasonable enough for you to get your visa. So that is a little bit about the student visa, student bank statement requirement for Canada student visa. Thank you.